Agents from the state attorney general's office are infiltrating Johnstown, fighting the war on heroin.
A shocking rise in drug deals, overdoses, and crime means that agents are on the streets working hand in hand with local law enforcement to crack down. It's a story you're only going to see on 6 News. 6 News traveled to Scranton to meet with Attorney General Kathleen Kane. Talk to her just a few seconds and you'll hear how serious she says the problem is around here.
The fact is we have an epidemic on our hands. Johnstown is accessible off of the highways. Johnstown is of a certain size that almost makes us a target because, like I said, the decrease of resources for law enforcement there then makes a rise in crime.
The Johnstown Police Department has been famously understaffed. Last year, the Johnstown Crime and Violence Commission, headed by State Representative Bryan Barbin, released a report saying 4 officers needed to be added to the roster. But since July, just 2 new cops were hired.
We got a call from Representative Barbin, who said that the problem is getting worse and asked us to please do what we can to help out. The very next day, we pulled some of our narcotics agents from other regions and immediately sent them into Johnstown to talk to all of the interested parties of how we can combat this violence and do it quickly.
We're incredibly lucky that they're here helping us.
Barbin says police are doing the best they can, but it's not always enough.
It's all they were really doing, because they have so few policemen, is responding to this problem or responding to that problem.
And with the help of the Attorney General's office, they can do more.
We do more knocks and talking to people. We execute more search warrants. We're able to stop more cars. So you have seen an increase in police activity because we have fanned out across your region. Last year, there were approximately 7 homicides in the Johnstown area that were violent drug-related deaths. This year so far there are 3. So while 3 is still 3 too many, we are seeing a decrease in the violence, and I think that's because of the increased coordination and the increased saturation patrols that you are seeing in your communities.
Kane says more proof that this is working. The recent arrest involving heroin stamped 7 of hearts. It caused 7 overdoses in Cambria and Somerset counties. And within days, instead of months, the people investigators say were dealing it were taken off the street.
It has been pretty quick, and that's because we have the cooperation of the Johnstown Police and the task force.
This kind of saturation detail going on right now in Johnstown is similar to an effort earlier this year in Hazleton, a small city in the eastern part of the state.
Only 33,000 residents in Hazleton. We took out 35,000 stamp bags.
It's a program called the Mobile Street Crimes Unit.
Our agents went in and they lived and worked right there. They had housing, they worked within the police department, and they worked right alongside the Hazleton police officers. So they would go out and make buys together. And it's funny, on the last day of the deployment, on the wrap-up, we had over 150 law enforcement from everywhere. The FBI, the DEA, the National Guard, and they all came together so that we could serve search warrants, they could protect each other, it could be done safely for the community and for themselves. But at the end of it, one of the Hazleton police officers said to one of my agents, "I don't know what we're going to do on Monday morning without you when you're not here."
It was so successful in Hazleton that the unit has moved on to a new city. It could be Johnstown, Altoona, State College, anywhere. The AG's office keeps it a secret.
And you know, people in the Hazleton region, and I'm assuming probably in the Johnstown region, feel like we've forgotten them because they're smaller cities, they're not major urban areas, you know, they're not particularly of political significance, I'm sure is what they think. But at our office, we don't care about politics. All we care about is that you're in need, violence is up, people's life, their quality of life is changing, and we won't stand for it.
We asked if the crime rate goes down, which Kane says it undoubtedly will, what happens next?
Yes, once we do cut down on this problem, we will have to divert some of our resources other places, unfortunately. We're stretched thin just like everybody else. But we will leave Johnstown better equipped to take care of the problem. Once you've reduced it, then they're better able to manage it.